Welcome. Today I am talking to a brand new author, as we are still in Authors Month with the group, Michele Courage. And Michele today is here to talk about her new book, Raise Your Vibe. Michele, on to you.
Thank you so much, Christina. I'm so happy to be here. Obviously, it's very exciting for me because, new book, first time author. I know I've spoken to you a little bit for some tips and some help. So the book is called Raise Your Vibe, Light Encoded Galactic Messages and Artworks. So very woohoo-y. I'm an artist. I'm a galactic artist. I channel energy and I channel messages. I've been channeling messages now for about 6 years. Writing them down in journals, and the book is all those beautiful channeled messages that help me raise my vibration, and that I want to help others raise theirs as well, alongside with my artworks in the book too.
Oh, wow. I love the cover. I love that particular color. It's actually one of my favorites. It's like a teal.
It is. It is actually the painting that I first channeled with intention from the Pleiadians. So it is a Pleiadian portal that I created. And I've been doing this for many years, but I never understood what I was doing. And then when I finally understood the coding and the light codes that I was bringing into my artworks, I started specifically channeling within a painting and with that intention. And we all know intention is everything. We're starting to learn exactly how that energy works. So this painting is it's about 1.5 meters by 1 meter. It's a massive painting. And when I started thinking about the cover, my instant message I got was use the Pleiadian one, because remember, the Pleiadians are the easiest accessible into the galactic energy. They're the ones that are helping us go up into 5D.
Yes. You know, when you said intention is everything, I've kind of added a little bit to that. Intention without positive action is a good idea going nowhere.
Yes, absolutely.
I actually put that on my Instagram page. Intention is great, and sure, you're putting it out there and you're creating that energy, that is what you want. But if you want to win lotto and if you're not buying a ticket, where you haven't been action needs to support the intention.
Yes, you've got to be in active mode, and that is your ego pushing you forward. So, I mean, I got a message because I was dragging my heels a little bit with the book. I got a message that all my future connections was going to slow down until I finished the book. So I thought, I better finish the book now. So that was a clear message from my guides to get on with the book, because then your new paths will open through the book.
So basically, your cover came as an idea, and the concept for your books were just ideas that you had written down over many years. Well, almost like writing a journal.
Well, yeah, I mean, I channel, so I find it easier when I channel to write, because then my brain doesn't get involved. Because when I meditate, I get lots of messages through, but when I write, my brain actually switches off, and it's just I'm writing words that are coming through, which that to me is just a clearer form of energy. And every message that I received, I course corrected myself into soul alignment, and every time I would go back to the messages and reread them and go, oh my word, yes, yes, yes. So for me, this book is all about raising your vibe, because it raised my vibe. I raised my vibration by course correcting with these channeled messages. So when I asked my guides, what I needed to say about the book, they basically said, by absorbing these words and artworks, you activate and awaken the dormant codes and blueprints within you so you can access higher timelines. And they basically said to me, write this down. This book is dedicated to those souls who have undertaken the mission to raise the vibration on this planet, to the souls who are asking for guidance. The simple messages I have received are for me to pass on to you. To embody these channeled messages is part of our mission. And that is word for word what they told me to write.
What a beautiful dedication.
It's amazing. I mean,
What a
I certainly wouldn't come up with this stuff myself. I can tell you now.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know, Michele. You're pretty creative and pretty insightful. But it's actually
creative, but I've got help.
But it's actually in alignment with the planets going through Aquarius right now, because Aquarius is about the higher vibration of what's going on. It's all about the humanitarian stuff. It's about everything that it's new that's coming through. And of course, Aquarius also rules the galactic. It rules space, futurism, technology, all these kinds of things. So, energy, you know, chakras. So, you know, this book could not come at a better time.
Oh, absolutely. And I know it's just so divinely guided. Everything is there. And I know it'll reach the right people who have come down onto this planet to raise their vibration with intention to do the work to raise their vibration. Because let's face it, if every single one of us on this planet raised our vibration, the world would be such a better place, would be an amazing place if we worked on it actively.
And the other thing, New Zealand is the first country to get the sun in the morning.
Well, that's the reason why I immigrated. Was born in South Africa, immigrated to New Zealand, and the grid is so clear in a lot of places here in New Zealand that my downloads are I just get them so clearly, or more clearly here. And we're actually moving we're going to be moving soon to an even more clearer part of the grid, you know, within New Zealand, because I know my guides want me to be on a clearer grid pattern so that I can download even more.
You may be close by.
It's all lining up, I'll tell you that now.
Oh, that'll be so awesome. That'll be so awesome. So we heard about how the cover came about, and your creative process and your connection to the to your guides that help you to download everything. What about the marketing and the publishing of this book? Have you had any thoughts about that?
Yeah, well, look, because I've got an advertising background, I've had some gifts that I could bring to the book. So because I didn't want anybody editing the book, because the words that I've got are 100% what I got. So I haven't edited the words. I did all the layouts myself. So I fortunately am trained in InDesign. So I've done the sort of layouts by myself, and I use the artworks. That being said, I did it in InDesign. I've had a few hiccups of how to design and how to put the pages up. I am now in contact with some printers in New Zealand, because I suddenly realized if it's available on Amazon, my New Zealand peeps that have supported me in this whole endeavor and how I've grown, they are so keen for this book, but they're going to have to pay huge prices to get it from the US to here.
Postage and I realized, is enormous.
Yes, and they're not printing, as far as I know, they're not printing in Australia. So they print it in the US, the on demand, and then it gets posted here. And the postage was going to cost, it was just going to be ridiculous. It was going to, I think it was about $30 to get it here. And the book is an expensive book. It's not a cheap little novella, because it's not black and white. So mine is full color all the way through with my channeled encoded lightworks. So every page has got full color on it. So I had to up the weight of the book on the paper that was printed. I had to make sure that the cover was on a 450 gram that is 100% laminated, because I want these colors to pop. I went to the printer. I've got 3 printing quotes. The best printing quote I got was in Auckland. A really helpful people helping me. I don't know if I want to mention their names right away because I've still got to finally negotiate.
No.
And then,
Okay.
yeah, and then I will be launching it on Amazon as well. But every time I try to load or find out more on Amazon, it slowed me down and stuck. I got stuck. And that to me is the universe saying, just go with where it's easy. So, and easy was just printing in New Zealand, and I've got it at a great price, so I can put that onto my people who are going to be buying the book from me. And if you buy it in New Zealand, I'm going to be able to sign it for you, and you know, there'll be so many more things that I can so each book I will handle myself, which I feel gets that beautiful energy going as well, because I feel the same way. This is the Pleiadian scarf that I'm wearing, which I took from the artwork, put it on the scarf. And because I handle the scarf when it comes in and put the intention to it, it goes through. So yeah, that's been a little bit about the marketing. The other side is I've spoken to a few other authors, and one of the authors has kindly said I could use all her launch emails as a basis. So I've gone and had a look at, like, Kyle Gray is just launching his new book. And so is Rebecca Campbell. And I've kind of watched their emails coming through and sort of gone, oh, okay, so that's how they do the talk about it, and then they start doing the pre-launch, and then they do pre-order, and then so it's all stacked up. And my husband is, yes, and my husband is very ordered. So he said, well, have you done a timeline yet? I'm thinking, oh my word, this artist here has got to do a timeline. But it is, that's what I have to do. I'm going to start setting from the date that I'm going to launch it to this, to that, and work backwards. So yeah, it's quite complicated, wow, but it's very exciting.
Oh yeah, it's so so you're publishing yourself?
I'm self-publishing, yes. I've done a course with Leonie Dawson, and she is a very well-renowned author in Australia, and she said she's done the self-publishing, and then she went to somebody else publishing, and she found it the easiest for her. I mean, she's dealing with massive numbers, so I get it. But yeah, at the moment, self-publishing and then putting it on Amazon myself as well.
So who are you self-publishing as? Have you got a name for your self-publishing house?
No.
Did you realize?
That's just Michele Courage, send it out, you know.
Do you realize that you can actually create a name and self-publish under that name?
Oh.
But you can call it Michele's Galactic Gateway and publish under Michele's Galactic Gateway, just as an example, as a publishing house.
Well, I would definitely say Raise Your Vibe with Michele, because I've got a podcast like that as well. So yeah.
So you know, some people can do it under their name, but if you want to go that little step further, you can actually create Michele. You can do Michele Courage Publishing Press.
Right. Okay, now you're giving me some food for thought.
Just leave it with you.
I'll have to ask you some questions around that, or find out a bit more about that. Yeah.
And of course, plenty of places to put your books, like in New Zealand, Akasha Books in Paraparam, not far from you. To go see Mike.
Okay.
Just tell him Christina sent you.
Yes, because that's what I wanted to find out. You know, I need to obviously print books and then go and drop them off in places that are either very spiritual or artistic, you know. So I was thinking
Akasha Books. Akasha Books is a spiritual book hub. They have their own online catalog. And people buy offline, as well as book suppliers. They can also buy from them. But then you can go to, if you want to go a little bit more, you know, you've got Fish Pond in New Zealand, Mighty Ape, Booktopia.
So those will all be So if I launch with Amazon, will that link not go to them, or is it better just for them to buy it straight from me?
No. If you're promoting yourself, you're the one that needs to establish all the links. If you're doing it through a publisher or through Instagram, no. IG, Instagram? Oh, not Instagram. I'm trying to think of this other place that I do a lot of my publishing through.
Yes, but you're self-publishing, eh?
InstaSpark.
InstaSpark.
I think that's the name. Anyway, I'll write the name up on the website on our group page when I'm finished, when I can think about it. I think it's InstaSpark.
But it was very exciting because I had to go and I had to apply for my ISBN number, which means I'm registered with New Zealand authors. So I got my my barcode, so you can see the barcode over there, and that was like very cool because like, oh my goodness, you know, like it's like really dinkum.
Have you sent a couple of copies of your book off to the New Zealand Library?
My book is only going to print in the next week or so. So I'm first sending to the printer has to send me the proof copy, which obviously that'll be a one-off charge for me. And then I'll have a look at the book. I think he's charging me about $50 to print a full copy, bound, everything. And then I can have a look at it. I can finally proof it, and then I will order. And at the moment, I'm just going to order 20 books. But I'm hoping that the order is going to go rocketing. So,
well, the way printing works is because I've printed a lot of my own books. The more you order, the cheaper per book it is. Therefore, the cheaper you can actually. And it's not about the book being cheap, but it's about it's the volume, because when they set the printing press but also
they just print
a new author. No one knows that you're an author now. Your work is amazing, but it's getting it out there.
Yes.
I'll just tell you something briefly myself. I did Learn to Self-Heal as my new book, as my first book.
Yes.
I had amazing reviews, but it wasn't until my second astrological book was written, Your Astrological Health. That was the book that everybody wanted and everybody loved. And then they got the first book.
Yes.
And this often happens because as a new author, they don't know they don't know who you are, they don't know your credibility, all these other bits and
I
pieces.
think like viewing it online, you know, you don't get a good sense of it. So you have to go and talk about it. And I know my guides have said to me that my journey going forward is going to be more about talking about the book and bringing that beautiful light in. So clearly I'm being guided to go and talk about my book. So I mean, if you're just an author, you would definitely have to, you know, you have to talk about it. So you've got to put your big girl panties on and get on with it.
I can just imagine you in big girl panties.
Absolutely. It's like, let's get on with this. This is not, you know, you can't just like put it out there and go, because I know even with the publishers, if you don't drive it and get on with it, it just sits there on their shelf. It's like a book on a shelf. If it's in the shelf, nobody's going to find it.
And the other good thing is you've chosen to self-publish, which means you can get it out quite quickly. Another thing is make sure that when you do your launch, you don't do it under a Mercury retrograde.
Oh, well, I'll definitely be asking you for those dates. And I found out the other day that somebody said to me, it's a great thing to do an online launch.
Yes.
We have an online launch party. So I thought, holy moly, that's so cool, because then I don't have to hire a venue and I can have a small little launch here at home and then launch to the world when all my links are ready and everything's done. So I'm very excited about that.
That sounds cool. And of course, people that come to the launch, they have the opportunity to get the pre-sale and any other promotion that might be attached to that, either currently or at a later date.
Yeah, because what I've decided to give with the book will be free postage. It will be have a meditation, and then a foolscap A4 sort of print out with a beautiful coded message in there as well. Very much like what's going in the book, you know, like one of these messages. This one here was just a random one that we got for the printer. Encourage souls to flow with the process and they will ride the wave of challenges a lot better. And I can truly attest to that, because with the book, writing of the book, I really got quite agitated about how it was going to be published and how and who and what, and I couldn't get this right. And then I just sat back and I went, just breathe. This will come at the right time. It'll happen at the right time. I'm not forcing this. Whenever the right person comes along and gives me the right quote and I feel that's right, and I'm just trying to slow myself down, because in the past, what I would normally do is just throw it out there, like as quick as possible, just get it out there. And I'm actually taking my time. And by taking my time, I'm now able to talk about the book more before it's even started. So I'm generating that interest before that I'm supposed to do, but I would normally not do, because I would skip to the end.
The process you're going through by going a bit slower, you're also respecting and putting value, and you know, you're doing your process a little bit slower, gives you not only the time, but what am I trying to say here? This is an honoring process for you. Yes. That's the word. Thank you, guys. It's honoring. You are doing an honoring process by slowing down, taking it easy, doing everything correctly, allowing the people to come to you rather than you go to them, and all these kinds of bits and pieces. And there's loads of platforms out there for promotion, which we can always talk about at a later date, or when we do authors. Actually, that would be really good. We have Authors Month again in 3 months' time. It will be interesting as a new author to see where you are at in 3 months' time. So watch this space, guys. So I feel very, very excited for you, Michele. I know this is something that you love with a passion, and it's something that you've been really looking forward to achieving and completing, and you're nearly there.
Yeah, and my guides have said to me, this is going to give me recognition from the outside, but myself is going to feel recognized. So I will have more confidence about what I do and what I talk about because of the fact that I have done this book. So, and I think that is a given for any author. You know, they feel validated and more assured of their topic when, you know, the fact that you can call yourself an author, and it'll be really cool. So
and if I just may just add, this book couldn't come at a better time. We've had COVID for the last 18 months, and here for the rest of this year as well. Yep. It could not come at a better time, because of course, if you raise your vibration, you're raising the energy of your aura and your chakras. And what you're doing is you're raising your immunity. And when you raise your immunity, you keep viruses at bay.
Absolutely.
So really, it couldn't come at a more perfect time.
Yeah. And just working through every single, I know when I started proofreading every page, when I played it out and I started reading, after 4 or 5 pages of proofreading, honestly, I checked in with my vibration and I felt so much better. It's like, it really feels like this book is encoded with these incredible light codes that come through that you honestly do feel better. So yeah, so
I feel that this book should be a manual or a guide or a self-care manual for every light worker on the planet.
Yes,
actually for everybody on the planet,
for everyone on the planet. But I think specifically for light workers, I have a while back, my guide said to me, you're a healer of healers and a light for light workers. And I went, oh my word, that is a massive description for me. I'm just a little artist just doing my thing. I'm like, who am I? And that imposter syndrome came in, you know, how you feel, oh my goodness, this is like too big for me. But you know what, slowly but surely I'm stepping into it, and I'm stepping into that strength of knowing that it changed my life. So if it changed my life, because I did not want to live in New Zealand, I wanted to come to New Zealand, but it didn't work out the way it was worked in my head, because I'm a dreamer and I'm an artist. I had this idea, and at one point I really was really low, and I realized I had to do something. And then I got more into the channeling and more into these things, and they have lifted me out of darker, lower based energies.
Have you found?
Honestly, I've walked the walk of this book, and it's changed my life.
Well, there's testimony in that.
And well,
there is nothing. There is nothing.
I'm very happy. It's so a wonderful life.
There is nothing more powerful than being the result of your own work.
Yes, exactly. And that's what a writer is. We're here to share. Yeah. You know, writing is channeling. I don't care what anybody says. Whatever you're going to be writing, it's coming through from your higher self.
So I'm going to ask you something.
Space.
Before we go, I'm going to ask you a question. What would be the title of your story, the title of your life? If you were to give your life a story, what would it be? Title, I should say.
How to raise your vibration. Because you know what, as always, many of our souls, most of our souls have set out some obstacles for us to overcome in our lifetime on this planet, and lifetimes, but obviously this lifetime is the most important. And you know, I had massive challenges. You know, I nearly died. I lived in South Africa. It's a war zone there.
Yeah.
I had some really hairy things happen. And to get over that and to move through that without it affecting you, you have to do the work. And doing the work is learning to raise your vibration, to work through these things. Raise your vibe with Michele. That would be the story of my life. How to overcome these things without it dragging you down, without it stopping you shining your light. Because I never wanted to be on camera. You know, I didn't want to be known. I'm still battling with the whole, this is going to push me out into the front. And my guide said to me, you now have to stop hiding behind your paintings and step out in front of them. And that is daunting, but necessary.
But it's the next step.
Yes, it is the next step. And every step is I'm not going to say difficult. If you go with the flow, it's easier, but you learn to flow. Exactly what it says here. Encourage souls to flow with the process, and they will ride the waves of challenges a lot better. This book has got an answer for everything. I promise you.
Where there's resistance, there's suffering.
Absolutely. If you know, do you want to be the rock in the river, or do you want to be the log?
Yeah.
You want to float down the river. Yes, you're going to go through the waves and you're not going to breathe for a little while, but you'll pop out on the other side if you surrender. But if you're the rock, the water, however soft it is, will wear you down.
Will wear you down over time. Yeah. And then the rock becomes mud.
Exactly. It's just, I learned that really early on. Do you want to be the rock in the river, or do you want to be the log? Just floating down and understanding that you're going to go through some big rapids. But if you surrender and allow it to flow, you'll just pop out on the other side.
What a beautiful way to end.
Absolutely.
Any final things you want to share with the group, Michele?
Oh, yes. The book, putting it out there it's going to be great. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I want to put it out in an oracle deck. So that, that is finding the right people again, and then changing the artwork again. But it's possible to do stuff like that with your book, with beautiful quotes in it or something like that, if that's the kind of book that you read, that you're writing. So yeah, it opens up so many opportunities.
It does. You're on a high, woman.
Yes, michellecourage.com, 1L.
Okay, so michellecourage.com, 1L, is
1L.
where you can get your books and your beautiful
you can
scarves.
have a look. Yeah, just under work with me, and you can go and have a look if you want to work with me as an artist. It's got the artist, the energy healer, or the author now.
Okay.
And yes, the scarves are available in my shop section.
Do you have tops as well, or just scarves?
I have a few tops left that I made out of the artwork, but at the moment I've got the scarves because I'm very into the galactic side at the moment. So I've got Pleiadian scarf, a Lemurian scarf, and they're amazing. I've had such great feedback where the people are feeling the feeling of upliftment, or like the divine feminine is a confidence, a slow confidence, because that painting was done completely in the goddess energies. So each painting that I channel has specific energies that are around it. So yeah.
I don't know why. I just got gold. I've just come through something about gold for you. I don't know whether.
Well, I know Orion and the Orion energies sort of wanting to come through, but gold is normally Christ-like energy, and Metatron. So I have done a Metatron painting as well, which is going to be released soon in the scarf. So I don't know.
No, it just came through.
Something with gold.
Something with the gold.
Well, gold is always for me, when I channeled in the Lemurian painting and I channeled in the Metatron painting, gold is a symbol of ancient wisdom. And I think that's probably what it is. It's the ancient wisdom. That's because color heals. Yes. So color, or each color will give you a different feeling. So the blues give you more security, serenity. Yellow is fear, or the opposite of fear is joy and happiness. And I've done a whole series of artworks like that, and they're all available on digital download. But gold is ancient energies, because Metatron's painting has got a lot of gold in, and the Lemurian one too, there's a lot of gold in it.
I just had a thought, just like you to mention about how your book is or is not going to be available as a ebook or Kindle. And why?
Oh yes, because it's color, and because it's the quotes are on top of color artworks. Kindle obviously doesn't translate into Kindle, but I'll probably make it available as a PDF download on my website. So that's how you would be able to bring it through. If you didn't want to buy the actual book and you wanted it on a sort of a more ebook type of
that would be a perfect alternative.
Yes.
Yeah, because that way you're still retaining the color.
Yes, so you'll be it'll be available as a PDF, but that's kind of a little bit further down right now, although I'm a very active doer, so it happens quite quickly.
Michele, lovely having you today. Lovely having you.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to talk about this book, and love your work as well.
Let's see where you're at in 3 months' time. Oh yes, and don't forget to contact me about the Mercury.
I will, because I want to know.
Mind you, you're part of the group, and you're on my astroplus.co.nz page, plus you're on my Instagram, and I'm always posting stuff astrologically. And of course, next month is astrology month,
and it's my birthday month too, so it's like I'm really excited about that, because you said to me it was all gonna sort of like it's much easier flow, because you said March and April was going to be really sticky and funny, and I thought, oh my word, it's been sticky and funny. So yes, 100%. You're amazing with your accuracy on the readings.
Thank you, Michele. Okay, so thank you for coming. Pleasure. Anybody, can you please leave your what's your best contact for you? Michele,
Okay, so
onelcourage.com.
Yes, michellecourage.com. It's not an easily forgettable surname. And Michele Courage, remember spelling the Michele with one L, Michele Courage Vibration Art on Instagram and Facebook. It is on Facebook, but I'm not big on Facebook. I just, whatever I post to Instagram goes through to Facebook. So
yeah, I'm saying. Okay, love to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. Wonderful.
Thank you, gorgeous. Okay, and so happy for you.
Thank you.